Good morning or afternoon. Yes, morning or afternoon. It wouldn't be evening anywhere. I'm gonna give it just a second, make sure everything's working right. Okay. All right. I am Shae Taylor, and I was asked to speak a little bit today about nurturing your customers and your new artists. And I feel like that's going to be good because we had so. Oh, hang on. Jamie wants to join. I forgot about this part. Hang on, guys. Okay, let's see. This is already. I'm on a sugar high, so give me. Jamie, hi.
Hi, Shae.
How are you?
So good. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, girls. So I get the opportunity and the honor to introduce you to Shae. I just got to know Shae, so I'm super excited to share a little bit about her with you really quick before she jumps into her incredible content. But she is a top artist ambassador with mascara. And I just have to throw a side note in, and you can see her decorations. Your party last night looked so fun.
This is not normal.
Okay.
Like, my house is not normally decorated like this.
Oh my gosh. So you have to go to her page and check out her pictures from her party. But anyway, top artist ambassador. She's a small town girl. She's been married to her hubby for 16 years.
I'm old.
They've got two boys, two sons, 13 and 12.
Yes.
Yes. So a couple preteen boys in the house.
Yes.
And she has been in mascara since March, so for a long time, but she had no prior experience in this industry before that. She comes from a nonprofit background. So it's incredible. I'm so excited to hear what she has to share from her heart and from her experience and how this has worked for her over the last year. And she let me know that her favorite thing to do in her free time is to read, which I thought was awesome because it just goes to show you're the smartest girl. So we can't wait to hear from you, Shae. I'm so excited for your content, and I'll let you take it from here.
All right. Bye, Jackie.
Bye. Oh, gosh. Let me figure out how to get
I
myself
can't help
up
you.
here.
I don't know how to. Are you
Here
stuck?
we go.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to dive right in because I don't want to take up all of your morning. And I'm going to put this notebook down because if I don't, I'm just going to stare at it, and things just get weirder. All right. So nurturing new artists. We had a lot of people join yesterday, over 1,000, I think, which is completely mind blowing. And I am by no means an expert in what I'm about to tell you. This honestly comes from trial and error on my part, and I honestly also believe that you really have to, you really kind of have to hone in on where you're located, how big your town is, and what kind of team you want to build. I'm a control freak. I like to take ownership of things, and I like to always have my hand in the cookie jar. So this is how I choose to train my artists. I feel like it's been very successful. I have a very high percentage of artists that are active every month, and I've only had 2 artists not hit elite in the first 30 days. So when a new artist enrolls, I take it upon myself. They are 100% my responsibility. It's like a baby bird situation, and it is my job to feed them, nurture them, educate them, and teach them how to fly. And then after about 30 days, I kind of shove them out of the nest gently. We shove gently. But when they first enroll, I send them, all the emails, add them to all the groups. I let them know in the beginning, this is going to be very overwhelming. Do not get frustrated. Do not give up. It does get easier. Read through the material. You'll have about a week until your kit arrives. And then we'll kind of hit into phase 2. So once they get their kit, they call me, and we actually sit down together, and we go through their kit. So I put with them, next to me, we put their highlights in order. We go through their contours, what's warm, what's cool. We go through the blushes. We kind of organize their kit, how they want to have it set up. So that way they're not left with a box of stuff and they're not going, oh my gosh, I'm never going to figure this out. Because what you don't want to do is you want them to feel like they have a person from beginning to end. You want them to feel like, okay, I'm in this with somebody. I have accountability partner. I have a person who cares about me and wants me to be successful, and they understand everything that I'm feeling, and they are in this with me. You don't want to ever leave somebody, throw them to the wolves, because they're going to get frustrated and they're not going to continue to carry the ball through the journey. So that's what you don't want them to ever put the ball down, per se. So once we get their kit in order, the first person they do a makeover on is me. I make sure that when they come over to put their kit together, I'm not wearing any makeup, I'm fresh faced. And that way they kind of can work out all the jitters. The first person they're not putting makeup on is a customer. So, and I find that really helps. They can practice their dialogue on you. I mean, if they screw it up, it's you. You can hold a mirror and you can verbally walk them through, okay, well, the contour's a little low, so let's pull it up, or whatever needs to be troubleshooted at the time. So I find that helps. Also, at the time of okay, I'm so nervous. I'm just going to be real honest and real vulnerable. So I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to calm down because I feel like I'm like, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. We're all friends and it's okay. All right. So at the time, after they put on my makeup, we then at that time scheduled their launch party, which is huge. You want to be a part of that process with them. So let's say they want to have a launch party, 2 weeks from that day. And you're working within, the 30-day window. If it's not crucial that you hit that whatsoever. I just find that artists are most excited. They're most determined. They are, they're eager. They're like batting at the bit. They want all things mascara. They're like sponges within the first 30 days. And you don't want them to get complacent. You want them to, while they're on fire, strike while the iron's hot, so to speak. So, I try to let's keep it rolling. And within 30 days, I find that works well with their enthusiasm. So, we schedule their launch party. And this is key. I go to their launch party with them. I'm there an hour before, and I'm the last one to leave. And during that launch party, they shadow me. So it's like a server at a restaurant in training. I am the head server and they are my assistant and they are shadowing me. They're listening to what I'm saying. They're listening to how I'm instructing people on applying their colors. They're soaking in everything that's happening. They're watching how I set up the table for the display. They're watching me put in orders. And a lot of times if I feel like they've got a pretty good handle on, they're not completely overwhelmed, then I will do during the launch party, I will do half of the customers' faces, and they'll do the other half of the customers' faces. And of course it's not going to match, and that's okay. And they, at the launch party, people know this, it's usually family and friends, so it's people who love the artist already. They're trying to be supportive, and they are completely understanding in the fact that they're not getting, that it's a training situation. I find that there's humor that's brought out in that. It kind of puts people at ease, because whenever someone's doing your makeup, you're vulnerable. They're staring at you with a fresh face, and they're all up in your personal space. And so people are usually okay with the fact that, hey, we're going to try this color, and if it doesn't work, it's okay. We can wipe it off and we'll try another color. So that launch party, me being at that launch party, and sometimes I have to drive 2 hours, and that's just my commitment to my artists. Now, for artists who live, I cannot see any comments, so if something's happening, I have no idea what it is. Now, if the artist is where I cannot get to them, we do the whole putting the kit together and things like that via FaceTime. Now, you're not going to be at their launch party if they live hours upon hours away from you. So you're just going to have to coach them the best way you can. I know a lot of teams, the majority of their girls are not within, reaching distance. That's not my case on my team most of the time. I just try to take what I do for my for my, within 2 hour artist and adapt it the best way I can via FaceTime, or find an artist that's local to them, that has been an artist that they can sit down with, that doesn't mind, volunteering their time. So there's workaround. I mean, I would absolutely do that for someone else. So there's workarounds for things like that. And at that launch party, that's when we hit elite. Those orders are what make her elite, most of the time. And then whatever's left, we do, just cold, warm reaches to her personal, family, friends, church group, things like that. So, but that first 30 days, you have got to be the peanut butter to her jelly sandwich. She has got to know that no matter when she calls you, no matter what it is, that you are sympathetic, you absolutely understand, you have felt the same way she has, and there is a solution for every problem. That is the most important thing. Because if she feels like, okay, well, I signed up and then there's a bunch of crickets and people just keep throwing information at me, nothing discourages an artist more to have a list of questions and for your response to be, I'll send you an email. And it's an email document that's 5 pages long, full of information. Now, I want the email document, and I'm going to print the email document off, and I'm going to highlight the email document, but I also want to know that when I Voxer you or call you, that you are verbally making the time commitment for me. And so I really try hard to make sure that I implement that to all of my team. I don't just nurture my first lines. I did a launch party for my level 3. I was the person who went to her launch party and helped her. I don't treat my level 1s any different than I treat my level 2s, 3. I don't even call them levels. They're my teamies. And it doesn't matter if you're level 1 or level 15. It doesn't matter. A teamie is a teamie, and I will always go above and beyond for any teamie. I'm not one of those people who you'll ever say, well, did you reach out to your upline? Because I'm your upline. I may be your upline's upline, but I'm still your upline. And we're all a part of Team Mascara. So I just don't believe in nurturing your first line. Because if something happens and your first line goes somewhere, everybody moves up. And if you haven't established a relationship with those people, I feel like it just creates an awkward situation. So the next thing we're going to talk about is keeping customers. If you have questions about the artist thing, I will be happy to answer like specific questions, but I don't want this to get too long, and I feel like the next part is the nitty-gritty part of this. So, all right, so keeping customers. I'm just going to tell you what I do. So when I have a new customer book a makeover, they come over, and I have had to change my mindset on this, because when I first started with mascara, I fell flat on my face a little bit. My upline is Kat Fairchild, and I love her. And I wanted to be all things Kat Fairchild. I mean, I was like, I'm just going to do what she does, because, oh my gosh, she's a freaking rock star, right? So I'll just get online and post photos and make videos, and like people are gonna buy from me because they buy from her. No, wrong. Didn't happen. So I thought, okay. So then I got like my close family and friends were sending, my inner circle were sending photos, and I was color matching because I was of the mindset, I'm not having people in my house. Don't want to have to make sure my house is clean. I'll have to, figure out something. My kids have to be quiet. I have to give them a 10-minute lecture before anybody comes over. The dishes aren't washed in the sink. This is a lot of work. I want to do the very minimum. And so I was doing everything through color matches on a photo, and I quickly learned that I was not doing this product justice, and I was not helping my customers at all. I was selling the bare minimum because I didn't know what was going to look good on them, so I was selling them the hack pack. I wasn't selling them eyeshadow. I mean, I was like, here's the eyeshadows if you want to pick some colors. It's up to you. I was giving the customer way too much control of the situation. I wasn't understanding the color matching because I wasn't putting it on their face. So about 2 months into it, when I was like, okay, this could be better. This is not bad, but this could be better. So I was like, I'm going to take control of the situation, and because I'm OCD already, I am going to I'm gonna take all of the options out of the customer's hands. So I started doing in-person makeovers. So I would have the customer over, and my goal was not to sell them something. My goal was to be their best friend. This is girl time. They're nervous. I don't want them to feel like I'm pushing something on them. I don't want this to be the regular, MLM stigmatism where they're like, okay, well, I came over here, now I have to buy. I was like, I don't want them to feel any kind of pressure. What I want them to feel when they leave my front door is, oh my gosh, that was fun. I love her. She's so sweet. I would totally buy from her because she's amazing. But it was about me. It wasn't about, because mascara sells itself. So basically what you're doing is you're selling you. You're not selling the product. They can go to anybody. You have competition. We're all sisters, but they could go to the person next door. What keeps them coming back to you? Well, you are what keeps them coming back to you. So it's important to establish a relationship with that customer. They're not your customer. They have to be more than a customer to you. They have to mean something to you. So when my customer comes in, it's about them. It's learning about them. And whenever I do their makeover, it's not educational at all. It's not, this is where you put your contour. It's not, this is how you apply your eyeshadow. This is how you blend. Half the time I don't even hand them a mirror. And there's a reason for this. And it's because they're not going to remember what you tell them. It's going to be 7 days before they get their product. So by the time they order and get their stuff, they're not going to remember what you said to them anyway. So take that time to learn about your customer. I am constantly asking questions. So do you live here in town? I do. I've lived here my whole life. I went to school with my husband, and I have lived here our whole lives. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, do you have children? Yes, I have 2 boys. One is actually getting married next month. Oh, really? Okay, well, that's exciting. Where are they getting married at? So on, so on, so on. So we're constantly getting to know each other. We're establishing a relationship. It's like dating. Asking important questions without prying too much in their personal life. But they're sitting there. You're rubbing on their face. You're putting product on their face, and they're sitting there. Take the tension out by letting them talk about themselves, because that's mindless. They can answer questions about themselves without having to think too much. So you're getting to know them. You're asking questions. You get done with the makeover. The first thing I do is I step back and I say, how does it feel? And the first thing they say is, I don't feel like I have anything on. And I'm like, well, you look beautiful. And then I hand them a mirror. And they're like, oh my gosh, because they see that they don't have to wear a lot of product to get a lot of coverage. And that's what sells itself. And I'm like, you look absolutely beautiful. Does it feel good? Da, 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 da. So then they look, and I'm like, well, this, and as I'm putting the makeup on them, I pop my tins out of my artist palette and I lay them on the counter so they're separate. And I'm like, well, this is everything I used on your face, and let me show you something amazing. And then depending on what I used, I take either the hack stack. I don't even sell the quad. See, it's not even in my container anymore. I take the hack stack or the mini double decker, and I pop everything in there, and I'm like, this is your whole face. And yeah, I do the whole little compact. But I'm like, this is your whole face. It fits in this one little container. And they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I know. Like, their mind is blown at that point. And I'm like, all right, well, look, I have 3 different options for you. This is your face, and this would be the basic kit. It's the brush, the stay spray, the sponge, and this. I would really like to see you incorporate our milk, I'm not going to say it because you guys will make fun of me and my southern accent, but I would like to see you incorporate the milk system. This is plan B. This is option B, and I have cute little names for them. I'm sure you've seen the graphics and stuff. And then I'm like, and if you just love it all, this is wanting it all, but this is, the mini double decker, and this gives you, the double decker, and it gives you plenty of room to grow if you just like a whole lot of options. The mini double decker is the best for your money. That's what I would encourage, but these are the 3 you can pick from. Because here's what if they look at everything you have, it is so overwhelming. It's just too much. And you're the professional. You know what they need. So don't be shy in telling them, this is what you need. This is what you'll be happiest with. The last thing in the world a person wants to do is go home and be like, I have no idea what's happening. Like, is this what I needed? I don't know. She just handed me a bunch of stuff and said pick. Like, that's not what you want. You want them to feel confident that you know what you're doing and that they can be able to do it when they get home. And then the first thing they're going to say is, I'm not going to know how to apply this. And you should say, you're right, you're not. But that's why I see you again. I'll see you twice. I'll see you whenever I put the makeup on you to make sure you like it. And then I'll see you again when you get your makeup. And then you will put the makeup on you while I stand across the counter from you and verbally walk you through it. And you should see the tension roll up off their shoulders. They're like, oh, okay. So they're coming back to you again. All right, so you've ordered their products. They've gone on their merry way. I have a notebook. I have a 3-ring binder. And this is a lot of work on my part, but I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. And it's one of those things where when you put what you put into something is what you get out of it. And this holds true in this case. If you put a lot of time and effort into that customer, they will love you, they will be loyal to you, and they will cherish the relationship you have built with them, because they value that. If they didn't, they would have gone to Sephora and gotten somebody to show them a mass amount of products and, you know, not have any intimacy in it whatsoever. So I write down the customer's name in my notebook. I write down all the details she gave me. Married for 30 years, has 2 sons. One's getting married next month. They have a dog named Brutus. He has a bad kidney. He's having surgery next week. That's my profile sheet. I put in that the order is being picked. So in about 4 or 5 days, I'll check the order again, and it'll say the tracking number. And so, you know, Mascara emails the tracking number now, and then I'll pull up the tracking number and write the estimated delivery date on my calendar. So in my iPhone calendar, it's got so-and-so's the product should be delivered. So on that date, on that morning, when I get up, I check the tracking, and it'll say out for delivery. So I'll text the customer and say, your mascara goodies should be in your mailbox when you get home today. Let me know when you want to set up your appointment to come back out to learn how to apply it. So there, you're keeping the dialogue open. They didn't just leave your door and you're never going to see them again. Okay, you're interjecting yourself into their life without being stalkerish. All right, so they get home, they're like, oh my gosh, I got my goodies. It's so cute. The box is so cute. I'm so excited. Do you have any time Monday? Absolutely. Monday at 2. She's coming back out. So she comes back out. She's already, things are easier. She's been here before, not her first rodeo. She comes in, I'm like, look at all your stuff. You know, I mean, it's got to be like a birthday surprise opening. You know, you need to be, I know this is the 100th millionth time you've seen these products in these boxes, but you have to act like it's your first. We're so excited. So she sits down, we're going through her box, we're putting it together. I'm like, okay, this is your contract. Now, this is your educational component to this. This is where you teach her all the things mascara. So you're like, this is your contour, this is your highlight, and you're teaching her to go contour makes a 3, your highlight goes everywhere else. You know, this is your time to be the teacher. So I actually have my customers apply their own makeup because I just feel like they're visually seeing it and then they're actually doing it. So it's sorry, the school is calling me. It's fine. My husband will handle it. So she then starts putting on her makeup. So I feel more confident when the customer actually does it. I don't feel like it leaves leaves as much room for guesstimation when they get home. So she does it. You're like, oh my gosh, you totally got this. You're a rock star at this. It looks beautiful. It's amazing. And she's, you know, because she is, it's not that hard. People overthink this, you know, they just get in their own heads about it. So then she leaves. Okay, let's say her name is Sue Ellen. I haven't heard from Sue Ellen in 4 weeks and it's not that Sue Ellen doesn't love me or miss me. It's just the fact that Sue Ellen's busy. So I go back and I flip to my little 3-ring binder and I see that she had her follow-up and she's in my awaiting part of my book. And awaiting means awaiting another order. That's what that is for me. So I flip through and I see that I haven't heard, I see the date. I'm like, oh, it's been a little bit. She shouldn't be ready to reorder yet, but let's just check in with her. So what do? I go back and I look at her profile sheet. And I don't message Sue Ellen and say, hey, you should almost be at a highlight. What's up? Because A, that sounds like the only reason I'm contacting you is because I want you to buy more highlight. And B, I care nothing about you. That message has nothing to do about Sue Ellen as a person. That message has to do with me getting Sue Ellen to buy something. And that typically doesn't resonate well with people. So instead, because I have this cheat sheet about Sue Ellen, I'll message her and say, how was the wedding? I know your son got married, or I know Brutus had kidney surgery, her dog. Is he recovering? And then two things happen. They're like, oh my gosh, she listens to me and cares about me. Those two things happen. And it has nothing to do with mascara. And 9 times out of 10, those conversations end up working back into, oh my gosh, the wedding was amazing. My makeup held up so well. Or I had so many people comment on my makeup. I actually gave your name to 2 or 3 people. And by the way, I'm getting a little low on highlight. Should I reorder that soon? Because that was the beginning of your relationship. I don't know why I'm putting my hands up. That was the beginning of your relationship, was mascara. Okay, that's what brought you together. That's your connection. But you need that filler. You need the body of the relationship. Otherwise, it's empty. You don't have anything. You don't have anything to discuss outside of mascara. And then it becomes like you're using her. And I don't want to do that. And I genuinely care about my customers. I want to have a relationship with my customers, because those relationships with your customers are their trust, and they're validated, and then those are what become, for me, those relationships are what grow into an artist. They're like, I really love this. I really like you. I like the fact that you're, it's not about you. It's not about the product. It's about me, and if I like it and how I love it, and and then it becomes something bigger and something more. So so that's what I do. I have a thing about follow-ups. I feel like if someone has taken to not interjecting themselves back, I make myself presentable, and I try to cross paths with people as much as I can in a very nonchalant way, but I don't do a whole lot of cold call messaging. It's for my personality, it's uncomfortable for me. It's just not something that I feel like comes across very genuine, so I don't do it. I have seen other people do it, and I'm like, gosh, that's amazing. That's good. But it just, not for the kind of person that I am, it just doesn't work well for me. So I prefer to pick out personal details about my customers and use those, because I am genuinely interested in them. So that's how I choose to do mine. I will say that when I first started, it took about 6 months before I could see like the return orders coming through, but now, I'll have almost $1,000 just in return customers. So it definitely works, but you have to nurture that just like you have to nurture any other part of your business. So that, I really think that, sorry, get distracted again. I really think that if you take the focus, the sales will come. They just will. If you take the focus off the money part of it and the sales, and concentrate on the customers, because the customers are going to be your segue to all other things. If you'll concentrate on your customers and your artist, everything else just falls into place. I don't know how it does it, but it just does it. It comes across, your customers genuinely care about you, you genuinely care about them. It just all tends to work out in the end that way. So if you guys are asking questions, I have no idea, because it won't show me any of that. So, but I'll go back through and read everything. And if you want to, I'll be happy to give you my cell phone number if you want to ask specific questions. But that's like a really broad overview of kind of how I do things. It's a little extra work. I don't even have my customers put their orders in themselves. I know it's so much more work for me, but I feel like that way, it's the road less traveled. It takes all the work off of them. So whatever's harder for me and easier for them is what I choose to do. I always go, well, it's easier for me if, it's easier for them if I just do it. So I just do it. And I feel like in the long run, they end up appreciating that. So, but that's really all I have. I hope that helps. I know it was, oh, it's been 30 minutes. I stayed within my timeline. Good. All right. Thank you guys for taking your time and spending the morning with me. If you have any questions, I'll go through and read the comments, or if you want to message me personally, or you want to have like a conversation and ask questions, we can do that too. But I hope you guys enjoy your Thursday and everybody makes it out of their sugar coma from last night. Y'all have a good day. Bye.